Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. We are continuing the reading of James Allen's book, As a Man Thinketh, and we're in the last chapter, Serenity. Let's let this wash over us and start our week off. Happy Halloween, by the way. We're starting a new month tomorrow. What are your goals? All right, Serenity, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Calmness of mind is one of the beautiful jewels of wisdom. It is the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Its presence is an indication of ripened experience and of a more than ordinary knowledge of the laws and operations of thought. A man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being, for such knowledge necessitates the understanding of others as the result of thought, and as he develops a right understanding, and sees more and more clearly the internal relations of things by the action of cause and effect, he ceases to fuss and fume and worry and grieve, and remains poised, steadfast, and serene. Do you remain poised, steadfast, and serene? Is serenity a feeling or a sensation or experience you have in your life? I love the serenity prayer in the 12 steps. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Anybody can use that prayer, addict or no addict. We can all use serenity. Give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Serenity, calmness of mind. It's a beautiful jewel of wisdom, and it's the result of long and patient effort in self-control. Do you have self-control, or is yourself in control of you? Are you a victim of self, or are you the master of self? I think that honestly, with anything I've ever studied for the last 20 plus years, mastering myself is the number one thing. And I think that's what all the great philosophers, sages, saints, psychologists, great teachings are trying to tell us in many different ways, and they're all right. It doesn't matter which one you choose. So it goes on to say, a man becomes calm in the measure that he understands himself as a thought-evolved being. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they in turn reverence his spiritual strength. Okay, let me read that again. The calm man, having learned how to govern himself, knows how to adapt himself to others, and they, in turn, reverence his spiritual strength and feel that they can learn of him and rely upon him. The more tranquil a man becomes, the greater is his success, his influence, his power for good. Even the ordinary trader will find his business prosperity increase as he develops a greater self-control and equanimity, for people will always prefer to deal with a man whose demeanor is strongly equable. Yes, we like those people. We feel more comfortable around people who have a spiritual strength, who can control themselves. People who pop off and who are chaotic and just a mess emotionally, psychologically, physically. It might be entertaining. And we do have a perverse love of people who are a circus or who are a mess or who are a zoo, however we call them. But if we watch those types of movies, TV shows, listen to that type of music, people unhinged for long periods of time, you're next. You are bathing yourself in that energy of chaos, of messiness, of out of controlness, of unbridled passion. Okay. So the more tranquil a man becomes, the greater his success. The strong, calm man is always loved and revered. He is like a shade-giving tree in a thirsty land, or a sheltering rock in a storm. Who does not love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It does not matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. Who doesn't love a tranquil heart, a sweet-tempered, balanced life? It doesn't matter whether it rains or shines, or what changes come to those possessing these blessings, for they are always sweet, serene, and calm. The exquisite poise of character, which we call serenity, is the last lesson of culture, the fruitage of the soul. It really is. That exquisite poise of character, which we call serenity, is the last lesson of culture, the fruitage of the soul. I think that is the end game of life. If we can learn, whether rain or shine, to possess a sweet, serene, and calm temperament, we've won life. And people will want to be around us, because if someone's in chaos, and a lot of people are, they don't want to be around more chaos. It might be like that perverse discomfort, like I mentioned, but it doesn't make us feel better. All right. It is precious as wisdom, more to be desired than gold, yea, than even fine gold. How insignificant mere money seeking looks in comparison with a serene life, a life that dwells in the ocean of truth, beneath the waves, beyond the reach of tempest, in the eternal calm. How many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood. It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise which is characteristic of the finished character. When poo-poo hits the fan and times get tough, we're seeing a lot of that right now. Character is revealed. The deep-rooted fears, anxieties, subconscious negative beliefs come out of the woodworks. Character is revealed in the moment of crisis. It's that way in plays, movies, books, and in life. When things get tough, character is revealed. And if we have not been working on our character, we are going to make the situation worse. That's the difference between leaders, people who study themselves, people who work on themselves, do this inner work. Listen to this. I want you to think about somebody in your life, yourself included, but it's usually easy to see this in other people, but we all have it. If you spot it, you got it. So how many people we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood? It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. There's a lot of rhetoric these days about, well, I'm just expressing my truth. This is my opinion. It's my right. It's freedom of speech. Number one, you're right. But number two, are you in control of your emotions, or are you just blabbering and sloppily emoting, angry, vitriol? Like, what's really the truth? Because anger is that's a surface emotion. That's not even the real emotion. You're angry because usually underneath it is hurt, pain, fear. So get to that level and then express it. But don't think that expressing anger, hate, disregard, irreverence, outrage, that's easy. That is so easy. Anybody could do that. That's simple. It's so simple, it flies out of our mouth before we can put our hand over it. Anger, disagreement is easy. That's basic bitch level stuff. But people hang their hats on that. Arguing, being contentious. What James Allen is saying, and what all great leaders say, is we must remain in control. Things do make us mad. Things do anger us. We do disagree with things. But take it in the quiet and silence of your heart, roll it around and figure it out, and then speak upon it. Let's not contribute to this chaos. So how many people do we know who sour their lives, who ruin all that is sweet and beautiful by explosive tempers, who destroy their poise of character and make bad blood? It is a question whether the great majority of people do not ruin their lives and mar their happiness by lack of self-control. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have that exquisite poise, which is characteristic of the finished character. It's like we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. We see somebody who is poised, who is balanced, and we try to poke at them or say, they're just going to blow up one day. I know it. And people push them and push them and push them and push them. And if they do, see, we must be strong no matter who pokes or prods or hates on us, to not whoosh, fight back with that type of energy, because that's cheap, it's easy. That's like if someone leaves comments in your comment section or says stuff to you, if you put stuff out there and you get ridiculed or criticized, do you have the strength to not take it in? And I heard one time somebody said, of course, we must look at constructive criticism and be open to new ways of thinking or changing. So have a third party, have somebody you really, really trust look at your comments or your critiques and then tell it to you with love, because not everybody is great at, critiquing, and usually it is out of anger or hate, but they might be honestly true and something you can, an area of opportunity. But deliverance is everything, how will we deliver it? What is the great saying? Honesty without compassion is brutality. So to be honest and say something, well, it's the truth, but truth telling, being honest, honesty without compassion and understanding is just brutality. Nobody's going to listen. They're going to be so defensive and their walls are going to go up and they're not going to hear what you have to say. So that's another reason why we should control our temper and get to the real roots of what we are meaning to say and to communicate. So if you're dealing with haters or people who criticize you or the judgments of others, whether they be real or in your mind, talk it out with a loving person, journal about it, see what you can learn from it. Is it true? Is it not true? What are these people doing? Are they happy with their lives? Are they creating content? I heard this also. Nobody who is really winning and doing better or just happy in life will ever criticize anybody, ever, period. They just won't, because they are so busy doing their own thing. So happy people who are winning do not criticize anybody, because they ain't got time for that. And they're focused on what they want. But somebody who comes to you and says, as a friend, would you be open to feedback or whatever? Like, that's another story, but that's not really what happens. So it says, we're ending with this. How few people we meet in life who are well balanced, who have the exquisite poise which is characteristic of the finished character. Yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion. It is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Whew. So James Allen is putting it down. This was written over 100 years ago, and it's still happening. Their patterns of humanity are cyclical. They ain't nothing new under the sun. I sometimes wonder why we're so obsessed with history, and people say, well, it's important to study history so we don't repeat it. Honey, the only thing that is true about history is that it repeats itself. And what we learn from history is that we don't learn from history. What we learn from history is that we do not learn from history. We learn from our own experiences. And as we evolve and we learn from our day-to-day inner selves and other people, we just won't make those mistakes again because we have evolved. So it says, yes, humanity surges with uncontrolled passion, is tumultuous with ungoverned grief, is blown about by anxiety and doubt. Only the wise man, only he whose thoughts are controlled and purified, makes the winds and the storms of the soul obey him. Tempest-tossed souls, wherever ye may be, under whatsoever conditions ye may live, know this: in the ocean of life, the isles of blessedness are smiling, and the sunny shore of your ideal awaits your coming. Keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. In the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep. Wake him. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. Say unto your heart, peace, be still. Serenity. Peace, be still. Repeat that often today, quietly in your mind or out loud. Peace, be still. And I will end it with this. This is a little drawing I've shown before of the mind, we know this. So this represents the mind. We have our conscious thinking mind. We have the feeling subconscious mind. This is our mind. We have two parts. These little antennae represent our physical senses: see, hear, smell, taste, touch. And they boop, 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 get information all day long surrounding us. And depending on what goes into our conscious thinking mind, we can accept it or reject it. But if we accept it, we get feels for it. We start feeling a certain way. It gets under our skin, good or bad. But once it's in here, in the fertile soil of our subconscious mind, it's going to go down into our body, and then we're going to take action. Depending on our action will determine our results. But with that, this is another little drawing, what James Allen just said here at the end. It says, keep your hand firmly upon the helm of thought. So this is the captain in your conscious thinking mind. The bark of your soul, so the soul, the seat of the soul, as the ancient Greeks and Egyptians called our psyche, is our soul, our heart of hearts, our emotions, our emotional feeling mind, our feelings. Okay. So it says, in the bark of your soul reclines the commanding master. He does but sleep, wake him. Self-control is strength. So depending on the captain, accepting or rejecting what gets aboard of the ship, passing it down, the steering wheel will start going that way. Depending on how the steering wheel goes, we'll run the ship, our body, towards the destination that this is sailing. Where are you sailing? Where are you headed? What kind of emotions do you feel? Be the master, self-control over your emotions and your wild, uncontrolled passion, ungoverned grief, anxiety, and doubt. Let's be in control. There's a poem I shared this with my group last night. This is from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And this is one of my favorite quotes. So just take this jewel into your day. This is from the chapter on faith from Think and Grow Rich. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you think you can't, it is almost certain you won't. If you think you'll lose, you're lost. For out of the world we find, success begins with a fellow's will. It's all in a state of mind. If you think you are outclassed, you are. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can ever win a prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or faster man, but sooner or later, the man who wins is the man who thinks he can. Faith, belief in yourself is the only thing you need to work on. However you get there, find whatever resonates with you. It all works. Every modality, therapy works, coaching works, religion works, spirituality works. It all works. If it resonates with you, it works. There is no one way. There is no tapping works. Deep breathing, breath work works. One of my friends, we were just talking about the human design, studying yourself from the human design. Some people are into numerology. Some people are into tarot. Some people are into astrology. It all works. Whatever you're pulled towards, whatever you resonate with, go all in to learn and discover about yourself. It all works. There is no one right way. What's right for someone else is not right for another. Just choose what's right for you and have faith and confidence. Follow that nudge, that pull, whatever you're interested in. We're all interested in different things. So study yourself, know yourself, build that faith and confidence, and really practice self-control of your emotions, of your anxieties, of your worries, of your doubts. Serenity, peace, be still. Have a wonderful Monday. See you tomorrow.